Okay, so percentiles are giving you an idea of your rank or your position, if you will, in a set of data. Connected to, kind of related to a percent, but a percent is a straight up value. A percentile is telling you that you're here and other people are at or below where you are. So a little bit of a different twist, but they are kind of related. Going back to our box and whisker plots, the 25th percentile is what we called before our Q1. So that means for this SAT math test, 25% of the kids scored a 300 or less. So 300 is our 25th percentile score. 50th percentile, we don't usually call it a Q2, we usually call it a median, but it means that half of the kids scored a 500 on that math portion or less. And so then 75th percentile would be our Q3, and if I read the scale correctly, I believe that's 650. What's 100th percentile?
That's the maximum.
It is the maximum. Yes, it's 800. Every kid scored an 800 or below on that portion of the math test. So 100% of the kids scored 800 or less. So that's a kind of a quick connection to what we've done with box and whisker plots. We use percentiles when we work with really large sets of data. That SAT test is given to thousands of high school kids every year and multiple times. They usually have a fall 2 or 3 sets of testing and the spring 2 or 3 sets of testing just in our area. So it's a huge set of data that comes in from the SAT. And it's math and ELA. So they use that percentiles to do this standardized ranking. So let's look at a couple of examples. They collected data from 250 ninth grade boys. And Jaden found out that he hits at the 82nd percentile. So again, it's kind of like the growth chart that we looked at yesterday. He would be at the 82nd percentile. So which of these numbers says the boys that are at Jaden's height or below? So to do that, we're going to take the 250 boys they talked to and multiply by that 82nd percentile. And what we get for an answer is 205. There are 205 boys. They're the same height as Jaden or shorter. Percentile rank tells you where you're at or less. Number 3, Kadisha ran in a marathon with 350 other people. She finished 40th in the race. Stop right here. Does it say she's at the 40th percentile? No. She was number 40 to cross the finish line. And we need to find her percent. So how do we find percent? What do you know?
Would it be part divided by 2?
Correct. It's going to be the part divided by the total. Now, do we want the part that is finished, or do we want the part that are going to come after Kadisha? We want the part that are going to come after. Because a percentile rank says they finished with me or after me.
So 310.
Where'd you get 310 from?
Subtract 40 from 350.
Okay, so 350 minus her 40th place.
350 or 310?
Divided by the 350. I was talking about how to get the part.
Where the 3?
The 310 was the 350 minus her 40th spot. So divide those and then multiply by 100 to get the percentile rank. And I think I got 89. to the back. Landon took a competitive spelling test with 600 other students. Landon found out that he was in the 93rd percentile. But the question asks, how many students did better on the test? 93rd percentile says what?
Almost 100.
93rd percentile says wherever he scored, 93% of the kids scored with him or worse than him. But that doesn't tell me better, does it?
No.
Well, this question's asking about better. So how am I going to figure out better?
The other 7%.
What are you talking about?
The other 7%.
7%. Where'd you get 7 from? Yeah. We want to know the 7% that did better than him. How many kids did better than him? So we take the 600, that's how many kids were in the spelling test, and we multiply by that 7%. So 42 kids performed better on the spelling test than he did.
Marcel, why did you take 100?
Because that would be, the 100% would be where everybody fell. That would be all of our kids. And we know that Landon was at the 93rd. So that left 7% at the top that did better than him. Number 5, we have Madeline and we have Narish. I believe I'm pronouncing Narish's name correctly, but I don't know if Narish is a boy or a girl. So I'm going to try to be gender non-specific. So Madeline took this test in the fall, and she got better than 240 of the 300 kids. So we're going to be able to figure out what percent she was. Narish took the same test, but in the spring. And Narish, oh, I'm sorry, here it is. He's a he. Narish did 265 out of 350. And they're at the lunch table and they're saying, I did better than you did. No, I did better than you did. Well, let's find out who did better. Please find the percent for each of them, their percentile rank, so we can compare. Mm-hmm. Guessing? Number crunch it. Use the evidence, scientists.
First Madeline, is that going to be 8?
I have an 80%, yep.
Yep.
And then 76%.
Narish, 76.
Oh, what's hard to
So Madeline did better. And our last question on note. We're in an introductory calculus class at Magna University. There are 300 students that take this class. I can't imagine teaching one class to 300 students. That's a lot of papers to grade. I probably could, but I don't think I want to. Anyway, the professor curves the grades. Oh, so it doesn't really matter what you got, you're going to get the curve anyway. Let's talk about this chart real quick. How many of you are comfortable or familiar with the idea of A, B, C, D, and F for grades?
yeah.
Okay. So F means that you failed.
Obviously.
And it doesn't matter if you failed with a 60 or a 20, you failed. You get an F, it doesn't matter how close you were to passing. All right, so most kids in college are going to want their coursework to be an A or a B. Every now and again you say, all right, I'm going to live with a C or a D, but you really want to shoot for that A or B category. So, how many students are going to get an A in calculus? Well, it's this top group that are going to get the A's. What percent of students are we talking about here?
That's small.
A small. What specific percent? What is 100 take away 15 or 85? Ms. Inslee. So 15% of those 300 kids are going to get an A based on professor's curve. So how many kids get an A? Yeah, only 45 students out of 300 are getting an A. All right, on the flip to that, how many students are going to fail? What's the percent here?
Where did you get?
Where'd I get what?
I don't know.
All right. So how many kids are failing this professor's course? 60.
That sucks.
Hopefully you're not in that group, right?
Where are we getting from?
From here and the 300 students. How many students get a C, hold on, or better?
So that includes
So we're
A,
from
B,
here,
and C.
correct. We're from there up,
So it's 35.
okay? So we need to do the 100 minus the 35%. So 65% of the class is going to be a C or better.
Oh, 195. Sound right to you?
Yep. More than half the kids have gotten a C or better. Now, real quick, more than half. What clue in this little math equation told us that we were going to have more than half of the kids? Nick?
0.65.
Yes, this 0.65, half would have been 0.5, right? Right? Right?
Right.
Right. So half would have been 0.5, this is 0.65. Then when we got the answer, this was your other clue that it was more than half. I would hope you know what half of 300 is. Oh boy. Yep. Okay, good. Okay. Fantastic. That's your notes. We're